Hey guys, this is Communications, and welcome to special video inspired by ZeroCool89 John and a friend of his, Italian Stallion. They did a video, very solid podcast, where they talked about movies they think that deserve better treatment on DVD. And I thought I'd throw my 2 cents in there. So I wrote down a 3-page long list of movies I think deserve better treatment on DVD, and I'm just going to tell you about them. And you can leave your thoughts down below in the comments, or you can make a video response if you want to. I know I did a video sort of like this with my friend Matt, and I think, yeah, my friend Matt and another friend of mine. And we did, the 3 crazy guys got together and talked about movies that we think deserve to be on DVD. And that kind of turned into movies that deserve to have better DVDs as well. But anyway, I've been waiting to do this video for a long time. So I thought, why not just do it? I thought it would be a good time. I got some time, to kill before a class that I got to go to tonight. And I'm feeling, a little bit better, physically, because I finally got my crowns put in. So don't have to worry about that anymore, except for maybe the implants and the tooth that's missing right here. But I don't have to worry about going back to the dentist again and getting crowns. So that's good. So anyway, I thought I might, before I get into the randomness of this list, I thought I'd talk about the first 2 shitty, crappy, horrendous, awful DVDs that first come to mind whenever I think about mistreated movies, on DVD, mistreated releases. And those 2 are Poltergeist and Beetlejuice. So, without further ado, I'll start off with Poltergeist. Poltergeist, as you guys know, is one of my favorite movies. I've talked about it a lot. I did a 3 or 4 part long review of the film. I've done a music video. I did a tribute to the series. I'm a big fan of Poltergeist. I have been ever since I was a teenager. And I'd always wanted to get the film on DVD. But I was fine with the VHS that I got from Value Village for the longest time. And this is about the point in time when I started to get, an allowance. And, I started working around the house and earned some extra money. And I heard about the 25th anniversary edition of Poltergeist through an online, fan forum about Poltergeist. I was like, cool, Warner Brothers is coming out with 25th anniversary. This is going to be awesome. So I basically decided to keep things a little bit of a secret. I didn't look at the forums anymore. I probably should have. But I just wanted to keep a little bit of a mystique, a surprise, so to speak. And yeah, I would be surprised when I would eventually go to purchase it, because I'd saved up the money, and this was going to be the first DVD that I was going to purchase with my own money. I was going to buy it. I was ready to buy it. I had the money in my hand. I walked up to the Fred Meyer. I went into the DVD section. I picked it up off the shelf. I was standing in line, and I'm really excited. And then I flipped the, I like the cover art. I like it. Okay, that's cool. It's different. It's white instead of a black background. All right. And then I flip it over, and then I look. Then my jaw just starts dropping lower and lower with every word that I keep reading off the back of this DVD. So first thing I see is, of course, the new high transfer, digital remastered transfer version of the film. So I'm like, whoop-de-fucking-do, that's in the 5.1 Dolby Digital Audio Mix. Woo! That's not a feature. I'm sorry. That's one thing that bugs me. DVDs and Blu-ray companies, stop listing that as a feature. It's not a feature. Dolby Digital sound, surround sound is not a feature, and neither is the remastered, film. It's not a feature. It isn't. I don't know what's running through your head that makes you think that it's a feature, because it is not. So anyway, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, alright. Okay, it's digitally remastered. Then I'm like, where are the documentaries? Where are the cool stuff? I want to know how they did the effects. Let's talk to Richard Edlund, it's how I am, interview with Toby Hooper or something. I'm not seeing any of that. And I'm starting to think, like, in the back of my head, a thought starting to pop up, like, is this a fucking joke? Is this a fucking joke? Is this the wrong DVD? Is this a manufacturer error? Are they pulling the same sort of shit that Artisan does all the time? Like with the Jacob's Ladder DVD where they don't list any features, but there's actually features on it? And I'm looking at it, and then I've seen this stupid shit. I'm like, 3 all new documentaries. One about real-life poltergeists. I don't give a shit about that. Might be interesting if I was watching a documentary about it on A&E, but I don't give a shit about it on a Poltergeist DVD. Especially 25th anniversary Poltergeist DVD. And then I keep reading. 2 more documentaries, this time about ghost hunters going around looking for real ghosts. And then I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with Poltergeist? Of course, I'm not saying that in public because I don't want to be branded a fucking crazy person. You know, if I said that in public, I'd be liable to get thrown out of the store and escorted out of the premises by security. So, in the back of my head, though, I'm screaming. In the back of my head, my inner conscious is going fucking nuts and being like, what the fuck is this shit? What the fuck is this bullshit? Where are the features? Where is the where are they? I can't believe it. I keep reading. I don't see anything. I don't even see a commentary. I don't see nothing. And then, you know, it's almost my turn to get up and pay for it. And then I just turn around. I put the DVD back on the shelf and I walk out of the store. Fuming. Pissed off. Like I was fucking lied to. Because in a sense I was. 25th anniversary edition. This is going to be the one the fans have been waiting for, you know? No, it isn't. It's not even close to that. 25th anniversary edition Poltergeist is about as useful as a used wad of toilet paper. It stinks and it's fucking useless because it's wet and it's fucking poor. It's just poor quality. It stinks and it's poor quality. For the longest time after that, I was pissed. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? You know, I'll just keep my VHS. I didn't know why it was that shitty. Why the DVD was that crappy. Like, why there wasn't any fucking features on it except for some insulting ghost hunters bullshit. And then I did some research later on in my life, probably about a couple years ago. I don't know the exact time. Then I find out the real reason. And that just pisses me off even more. And the real reason is that Warner Brothers asked Steven Spielberg. They said, hey Steven, we're making a 25th anniversary DVD of Poltergeist, and we're trying to give the fans a little something, you know, because this has a big fan base and a lot of people have been waiting a while for a DVD with something, you know, give them a little bit more info on the film, making of it, and we're just wanting to let us use the behind the scenes footage and so forth to make a DVD that the fans really appreciate. So Warner Brothers is actually trying. And Steven Spielberg said no. He denied Warner Brothers the access to the behind-the-scenes footage of Poltergeist. In fact, he denied he he declined to interview. He declined to be any part of what, nothing. He didn't even want to have anything to do with Poltergeist, it seemed like. I was like, wow. And then, you know, I go read the science fiction, you know, movies that were never made book by David Hughes. And I read about Night Skies. Then a little bit of its connection to the Poltergeist. Then I read about more rumors that maybe Steven Spielberg took over the production of Poltergeist. And then then an idea just popped in my head as soon as I found out about the research about him saying no. Basically, Steven Spielberg, you know, gave a big fuck you to the fans of Poltergeist. He said, fuck you, fans. You've been waiting 25 years for a DVD worth a damn. Fuck you, I don't give a shit. Because I got some secrets. I got some dirty laundry I don't want to air out, and I don't want people to know about it. So let's sweep it under the rug, and let's forget about it. Let's forget about Poltergeist. It doesn't deserve a DVD, you know, with any features. Doesn't, you know, the Blu-ray came out and it didn't have any features either. Doesn't deserve any good treatment. Because I got some shit in my basement. I got some secrets. I got some, you know, things that I don't want people to know about. And here's the thing, Steven. If you wanted to keep something a secret, you should have just said fuck it and let them use the footage for behind the scenes footage, to make a documentary or to do behind the scenes stuff for the DVD. Because by saying no, for no other reason other than you're hiding shit or you're just being an asshole. It could be a bit of both. No one's Steven Spielberg. I respect the man as a director, okay, folks? I respect the man as a director. He's a fantastic director. But as a person, as a human being, from what I've been reading about, the guy needs a little work on that. I think he's like a secret, closeted asshole on set, but everyone is afraid to say so. People are afraid of the wrath of Spielberg. We can't talk shit about him, otherwise we're gonna get, you know, I don't know, sent into a fucking alternate dimension or shoved, put in a fucking, rectangular cube like the criminals in Superman 2, and we're gonna get shot into space. Michael Bay is afraid of Steven Spielberg. Michael Bay, of all people, is afraid of him. The guy who says shit all the time. He was afraid of Spielberg. I'm not afraid of Spielberg. What the fuck is Spielberg going to do to me? I'm just some dude on YouTube. I want to call it like it is. Steven, fuck you for saying no to for Warner Brothers, denying access to behind the scenes footage for Poltergeist because you just denied the fans of a DVD worth a damn. It's nobody's fault but yours. So anyway, that's my Poltergeist rant. I could probably go into a little bit more depth on it, like, let's just fucking let bygones be bygones, Steven. Let's have a slobbery makeout session with Tobe Hooper on camera, and let's just get this shit over with. Water under the bridge. I just don't like secrets. I don't like if there's no secrets, then go out and say there's no secrets. Don't give this cryptic bullshit like, no, camera's fucking up, and I think it's possessed by a goddamn ghost. Spielberg, get the fuck out of my webcam. Seriously.
I was selling Zardoz. I don't give a shit. I'm not stopping this fucking video. So, anyway. There's just too many suspicious shit. I've heard rumors that maybe like Spielberg cast members from Poltergeist said that, well, I don't remember Toby directing me. All I remember is Spielberg directing me. I think, the actress who played Tangina said stuff like that. And rumors that Tobe Hooper was high or some shit on set and all this and that. And it's like, it's all starting to add up a little bit because it just smells fishy. It's really something smells fishy. Something is rotten here in Denmark when it comes to Poltergeist. Why else would Spielberg say no? Unless he had something to hide. Seriously. Unless he had some shit that was like some footage or something that proved without a doubt that he either told Toby to fuck off, I don't like what you're doing, and took over the production, or he just decided to direct shit without Toby's permission. And there's already bad blood between the two. And Tobe Hooper not being involved in the DVD, I can kind of understand that because he sued Spielberg's ass, when the trailer came out, because Spielberg was putting his name up front and center as a producer on every trailer. And Toby's like, hey, I directed this movie. At least I thought I did. I think I deserve a little bit more of, I don't know. It should be more about me, not about you. And Toby won. And maybe there's a little bad blood between the two. And I wouldn't blame Toby. But Steven, the guy's a big name, huge producer, director in Hollywood. But he's not a fucking god. So I don't know why people are so scared of him or so afraid. And he's obviously got some fucking issues if he can't be honest about this as well.
Be honest, man. Just go out and admit it. Say, I didn't like the way the direction was going, so I took it over a little bit. I'm sorry, But no, he's just gonna say, fuck you to the fans. You get a shitty DVD, and that's it. It's fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. Sorry. So anyway, that's my little rant on the Poltergeist DVD. Excuse me. It's a little phlegm. Talking about that shitty ass DVD irritates my sinuses or some shit. Let's go on another shitty DVD. Beetlejuice. The culprit is Warner Brothers. Once again, what the fuck, Warner Brothers? You make a 2-disc of The Right Stuff. You make a 2-disc special edition of Batman and Robin. You made a 2-disc of Falling Down, which I'm absolutely surprised you even did that. 2-disc of The Lost Boys, which is cool. Alright, awesome. Beetlejuice comes out, 20th anniversary. You release a 20th anniversary DVD. Has jack shit of features. Not even a commentary with Tim Burton. No interviews with the cast. And just the special feature is 3 fucking episodes of the cartoon. Where the fuck is the logic in that, Warner Brothers? Are you that lazy? You don't want to pay that much money? You don't want to pay the extra cash to hire editors and directors to do the documentaries, to get the cast involved, to get them in one room and interview them? I mean, is it because Alec Baldwin's fat ass? I'm sorry. If Alec Baldwin doesn't want to be interviewed, fuck it. I know Michael Keaton and Gina Davis and Winona Ryder would love to talk about the film. Same goes for Tim Burton. I wouldn't mind seeing Jeffrey Jones' pedophile ass talking about it. He's a creeper now, but I'm still interested to see what his, opinion, what his experiences were on set. Catherine O'Hara, Danny Elfman, the composer, is talking about his score for Beetlejuice, the visual effects, by Dennis Skostak and a few other guys that won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. So Academy Awards don't mean jack shit anymore, Hollywood. It's just like, Warner Bros. Is like, fuck it, won an Academy Award, who cares? It's like by releasing this cheap jack, zero quality, absolutely weak, limp-wristed edition of Beetlejuice, Warner Brothers just basically sent a message to the fans of Beetlejuice like, we don't fucking care about Beetlejuice. We don't give a shit about Beetlejuice. By giving Batman and Robin a 2-disc, Warner Brothers is basically saying, we think Batman and Robin, we care more about Batman and Robin than we do about Beetlejuice. What the fuck? What? Don't understand it. It's like, what? Did they see the crappy ass job Sony did for the Ghostbusters 1 and 2 box set and thought that, oh, they put in 3 episodes of the cartoon? That seemed to go over very well. Ghostbusters 2 had no features except for 3 cartoons. Let's copy that strategy. Because that's a great strategy and we'll sell a lot of DVDs that way. Even the Blu-ray doesn't have any features. The Blu-ray's the same thing as the crappy ass 20th anniversary edition. I'm beginning to hate the word anniversary edition on DVDs. Because majority of the time, it's not even an anniversary of anything. It's not even an edition of anything. It's just, let's celebrate the anniversary by re-releasing it or some shit. Really? That's fucking lazy. Lazy. Get up off your ass, Hollywood. Producing companies, DVD releasing companies, or pull your head out of your coked up ass and let's, put some effort into it. Stop fucking lying to me with anniversary editions that have jack shit features. Beetlejuice 1 makes no sense. Poltergeist, I blame Steven Spielberg. I don't know what happened with Beetlejuice. I highly doubt it's Tim Burton. They did want to talk about it. And I swear to God, if Beetlejuice 2 gets greenlit, gets made, gets released on DVD, has a shit ton of features, and the first movie still doesn't have anything, that's fucking bullshit. And I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up happening that way. So, yeah. Beetlejuice was a huge hit. Made a lot of money. Basically kickstarted the career. Made Michael Keaton more than just Mr. Mom. The first example of Tim Burton really honestly creating his own visual style. Pee-wee's Adventure was good, but Beetlejuice is the one where you really started to see this sort of Edward Gorey sort of inspired style of filmmaking. And nothing. Zilch. Nada. Zero. Nothing. Not a thing. Unacceptable. That movie has a huge fan base. It inspired a cartoon series. It inspired a fucking dancing show at Universal Studios. People dressed up like Beetlejuice for Halloween. It's got merchandising up the wazoo. The film is not a cult classic. It made money. It was critically acclaimed. It deserves some respect on DVD. And if Warner Brothers ever got off their ass and made a good DVD with features, people would buy it. Because Beetlejuice is a classic. People love Beetlejuice. By just giving it this crappy treatment, you're just saying that you don't give a shit. And if that's the case, it's fucking sad, Warner Brothers. That's sad. Really sad. So anyway, and it's also pathetic. So anyway, going back, now I get to the rest of my list. So I'm going to start off with The Blob. The Blob remake from 1988. Yes, I know it didn't do that great in the box office and so forth. It didn't do that great. But this is a film that's a prime example of something Shout Factory should get their hands on. But I heard that it's not possible because some Twilight Films fucking company, which basically released a Fright Night Blu-ray, which had a fucking magnet for a feature, for I guess a feature, which I'll just talk about that. Fright Night. Why the fuck doesn't it have any features? That's nothing. Nothing. The old Columbia Pictures Sony DVD. Yeah, it has full screen and widescreen versions. Whoop-de-doo. Whoa! Full screen and widescreen. It's awesome. A trailer. Yay! A trailer that I can find online anywhere. Classic 80s, classic horror film with some really impressive visual effects. That would be cool to see interviews with Richard Edlund and his Boss Films company, how they did it. Sadly, they weren't able to interview Roddy McDowall before he died, but it would have been nice. You could still talk to William Ragsdale. I don't know what he's doing now. Probably not much. Would talk to Evil Ed, or is he too busy doing gay porn? I don't know. I don't care. There's no reason for it not to have any features at all. And now Twilight Films, some company has no idea what the fuck they're doing, has the rights to it. And Blu-ray, limited edition copies. You get a magnet. Oh my god, I get a magnet. I can put it on my fridge. This is the best feature ever. No. Who the fuck cares about a magnet? Nobody gives a shit. Then I guess they released The Blob on Blu-ray. The Blob remake on Blu-ray. What, do they have a fucking magnet for that too? No features, no nothing. Just a new transfer. And then because they own the rights now, they own it for a couple years or for eternity. I don't know. But it's fucking bullshit. The Blob remake deserves a better DVD. It deserves interviews with Kevin Dillon, Shawnee Smith, a commentary with Chuck Russell. Something. I don't care if it didn't do well in the box office. The Thing didn't do well in the box office. The Blob remake is just about as much of a classic, in my opinion, as John Carpenter's The Thing. Or David Cronenberg's The Fly. And there's a lot of people that agree with me. The Blob remake has a lot of fans. Obviously, since my most watched video, one of my most watched tributes, and most commented on music videos that I've edited, is to the Blob remake. So, obviously, people care about that film. And to give it nothing, that's just pathetic. And also have it on Blu-ray, but only by this Twilight Films company, who's fucking, I guess they're run by fucking Edward from Twilight and Bella, and they don't know how to fucking do shit, because they only release limited editions and limited amount of copies, because they're assholes. It's probably fucking sparkly vampires running that company. Why else would they call it Twilight? But anyway, the Blob remake deserves a better DVD. Plain and simple. Next one, The Rocketeer. What the fuck, Disney? Ugh. They released 25th, there's that anniversary edition thing again. 25th anniversary Blu-ray. First off, Disney fucked up the first time they released the movie on DVD in the first place. It wasn't even in a great widescreen transfer. It was all fucked up. You could see issues with it. Transfer was shitty. And there was no features on that either. So they fucked up right off the bat with a really awful transfer of the film right off the bat. I still watched it as a kid, but it's a bad transfer. So finally, they released the Blu-ray. And before the Blu-ray, they had this big event. They re-released the film at El Capitan, at the theater where it premiered, and they had an anniversary thing, and they had all the cast and crew, and they had, you know, props and stuff in the theater, and it was this big thing. So I'm thinking that, oh, Disney's going to do something with the DVD or the Blu-ray. No! No, they're not. They're going to be lazy asses and just release the film in better transfer quality and take away some of the strings and shit that I never see in the first place on a film. I swear to God, I've seen people say, oh, this will ruin your idea of the movie because I'm going to show you a string. I'm like, I don't look for strings. Even when I see pictures of people pointing an arrow to where the string supposedly is, I don't see it. I'm sorry. I'm not looking for it. My brain doesn't decipher the strings. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Must be an idiot if I can't figure out where all the strings are. They're obviously there. I don't, you know, whatever. But I love The Rocketeer. Rocketeer, I probably might put in my top 10 of my all-time favorite films. I grew up with this movie. I love The Rocketeer. I tried to turn, my Max Steel action figure into a Rocketeer action figure. I tried to do all that kind of stuff. I used to do, reenact a sequel to The Rocketeer with myself, like a Rocketeer 2, and he's fighting neo-Nazis and shit with a jetpack, and, he's got his jetpack, but he also has, like, miniguns on it or some shit, kind of like in Kick-Ass. I was trying, I love The Rocketeer. I wasn't familiar with the comics. I grew up with the movie. I didn't even know it was based on a comic until later. But I grew up watching the VHS and the Rocketeer. Huge childhood memories for me. It was the first movie my mom ever bought for me. And it was a surprise. We still had a subscription to the Columbia House, DVD, monthly company, whatever. And one of the DVDs came in the mail. And my mom, and I'm like, what is this? And she's like, open it. And I'm like, but it's for you. And she's like, no, open it, please. And I opened it as The Rocketeer. And I was so happy. I was so excited. She knew I loved the movie. And it was a great surprise and a great moment. And the Blu-ray, I don't give a shit if it's in better quality or better transfer. That's cool. I mean, if I saw it for really cheap, I'm not paying $20 for it if I get nothing. I don't even get an interview with Bill Campbell. This is the only role that you can honestly say that Bill Campbell is really well known for at all. Why would Disney go through all the trouble with the 25th anniversary, big gala party, whatever, screening of the film, if they weren't going to do anything with it on the Blu-ray? This doesn't make any sense. You had the whole cast and crew there in one place. You should just interview them right then and there and put the shit on the DVD. Had the director do a commentary right then and there while you're watching the movie. It makes no sense. I guarantee Joe Johnston wouldn't mind talking about this movie. It's obviously influenced him and obviously got him the job for Captain America because they saw that he could do a really good job with period piece movies. It's just a grind shame The Rocketeer gets nothing. 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 A trailer. I don't give shit about a trailer. Some movie stars, family fucking bullshit feature, some shit on the Disney Blu-ray. I don't give a shit. I'm pissed because I like this character. I like the movie a lot. It's one of the best comic book movies in my opinion. And even Wizard Magazine agrees with me because they put it in the top 10 of the best comic book movies of all time. And it's got nothing. That's just sad. It's pathetic. There's no reasoning for it. I don't understand it. It's got a fan base. Come on, Disney. What the fuck? Gonna remake it and then release the remake with features? They care more about their animated movies and deck them with features and then throw their asses back in the vault. Other than their other movies. I think it's because Disney has a little bit of an, I don't know, they irk or secretly don't like The Rocketeer because it didn't do as well as they had hoped. Fuck it, who cares? It didn't do that well in the box office because it was facing off with Terminator 2 and Robin Hood. It's really hard to, it's a really kind of a hard sell of a movie, and you put it up against that competition, of course it didn't do as well as you'd hoped. It's your own damn fault, Disney, it didn't do very well. Even though it didn't do very well in the box office, it still has a lasting impact. It has a lot of fans. So, that's something. Staying with the whole pulp, hero sort of DVDs, I'm going to talk about Dick Tracy. I don't like Dick Tracy. I don't care for the movie, but the Blu-ray just came out and it has no features. And for fans of that movie, that's bullshit. The same treatment they did with The Rocketeer. And Dick Tracy made a lot of money. Dick Tracy was like one of the highest grossing movies in 1990. It was huge. Disney made a lot of money with merchandising. They did a lot of stuff. They made a lot of money on Dick Tracy. Nothing. Not even Warren Beatty. Sure, he wouldn't mind talking about the film. I like some things about Dick Tracy. I'll say I don't hate the whole movie. It's just not my cup of tea. But I love the way it looks. I love to see how they did the shots, how they made it look like a live-action comic book. I love to see the makeup effects, how they did that. Nope, not fucking, if I want to see that, I gotta break out my old book that talks about the making of the film that was released back in 1990. Better than nothing, but, it would be nice to see, some actual behind-the-scenes footage. But maybe it doesn't exist. Maybe Disney, burned it or some shit. Or it's probably locked up in the vault along with the behind-the-scenes footage for The Rocketeer. So anyway, then you have Dick Tracy. Then you have another one, The Shadow. I know there's another film a lot of people don't care for. I like The Shadow. I like Alec Baldwin as a Shadow. And the DVD from Universal, if I remember correctly, isn't even in widescreen. It's full screen. What's up with that shit? Universal? It's a full screen? I have to break out my Laserdisc that I bought recently to watch it in widescreen? Or buy the Blu-ray? And I heard that there's a German DVD of The Shadow that has features. It has interviews of the cast, probably from back in the day, but it's still better than nothing. And it has the music video. Original Sin by Taylor Dane. Germany. There it is. Overseas. Has better DVDs than US. For some reason, with special editions. Sometimes. Which makes no sense. The Shadow wasn't made in the UK. It wasn't made in Germany. Why does Germany get the right to have a good DVD? Because the rights owners that own it in Germany, I guess, care more about the film. Because in the US, who gives a shit about The Shadow? That's their opinion. Didn't do very well. Fuck it. We don't care. And I don't like that. So, that's it for the pulp hero stuff. Then I'll talk about I want to, mention the Addams Family. I just bought the DVD recently. There's no features. There's 2 trailers. This movie was a huge hit. It inspired a sequel. It was a huge hit. Big, huge, critically acclaimed. Is it because Raul Julia is dead? That's sad, and that's really, I miss him already. He's a great actor. But you might have some, footage from back in the day, at least, on the set stuff. Have people talk about who were still, like Christina Ricci, talk about her experience, on the film. The kid who played Pugsley, Christopher Lloyd. Angelica Houston. Talk to Barry Sonnenfeld. Get a commentary by Barry Sonnenfeld. Something. Paramount. Addams Family made a good chunk of cash for you back in the 90s. Doesn't make any sense why the DVD's bare bones. Nothing. Just trailers. They're fun, yeah, but nothing. Not even a featurette from back in the day. That's come on now. Any kind of movie that deserves special edition Paramount, it's definitely the Addams Family. Made a lot of money for you. It's a recognizable film. A lot of people grew up with the film. I know I did. And the Addams Family values, I understand why that doesn't have any features. Would it be interesting to see features on that too? I mean, the Addams Family movies, even Addams Family Values made a good amount of money. So, anyway, I just think the Addams Family, I'm just surprised it doesn't have any features. You know, that's a pretty well-known film and one of Paramount's more, you know, popular titles. The Mad Max sequels. Isn't it really fucked up that the only way I can find any like behind the scenes footage on the Road Warrior is to watch a special edition VHS of the film? Yeah, special edition VHS of the Road Warrior has a documentary on it. I think like a making a featurette. I think it's from back in the day, but still, that's fucked up. Road Warrior, regular DVD, nothing. Trailer, that's it. Arguably, probably the film that kickstarted Mel Gibson's career in the stratosphere. A lot of people consider it one of the best post-apocalyptic action movies of all time. But no, nothing. No, nothing. Nothing for the Road Warrior. We have features up the ass for Mad Max, which I like okay, but it pales in comparison to the Road Warrior. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it would still be interesting to see, you know, a little bit of the backstory behind it, you know, because it's you know, it's kind of a sad backstory because of George Miller. I think he had a problem, like a friend of his died, and then he was struggling with that and still trying to direct the movie. So, interesting backstory with that, you know. Still be interesting. No features for the sequels is not understandable, especially for the Road Warrior. Now, I might be wrong. Maybe the Mad Max Blu-ray box set coming out soon has features, but I don't know. I don't know if it does or not. I looked at Amazon. It doesn't look like it has any features, and if it doesn't, that's bullshit, because the Road Warrior deserves like an hour-long documentary. At least that. It's had that much of an impact on action movies. Huge impact on Mel Gibson's career, and a lot of people love it. So, no features is just mind-boggling for the Road Warrior. Except if I gotta pop in a VHS from back in the day. Just lame. Continuing with the sequels thing, the Rocky sequels. Why aren't there any features for Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, and Rocky 5? I'm not the biggest fan of Rocky 5, but it'd be interesting to see the backstory. Put the deleted scenes from the film on the DVD. Rocky 4 is the highest grossing Rocky movie of all time and the highest grossing sports movie ever made. Why isn't there features? Interview with Dolph Lundgren speaks for itself. I know he would love to talk about it. Rocky 3, Mr. T. You interview Hulk Hogan. The whole little bit, tiny bit, fucking 5-minute shit in the Blu-ray Undisputed Collection box set is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sit these guys down. Carl Weathers, Sly, Dolph, Mr. T, Tommy Morrison, anybody who's still, you know, Burgess Meredith has passed away, so you can't really, but anybody who's still alive that worked on all the Rocky movies or worked on certain other movies. Vince DiCola, talked to him about, you know, his score for Rocky 4. Talked to Bill Conti about the score for Rocky. I don't know if Bill Conti's still alive or not. But regardless, do some more for the Rocky films. Not just 2-disc special editions with features up the butt for Rocky. I love Rocky. It's a classic. But it's not my favorite Rocky film. My favorite Rocky movie is actually Rocky 3. Rocky 4 is a close second. A lot of people like Rocky 4. Nothing. Not even an interview with Dolph Lundgren. Even an interview with Dolph Lundgren would be better than nothing. So I just don't understand the Rocky sequels other than Rocky Balboa. You know, getting nothing. No features. Nothing. There's like footage of behind the scenes of Rocky 3 and Rocky 2, I think, somewhere on YouTube. Same thing with Rocky 4. I would love to see commentaries of all the films. Stallone does a commentary for Rocky 4. Commentary for Rocky 3, Rocky 2. Be interesting to see a commentary. Stallone does commentaries for all of them. Even a commentary of Rocky 5 to say what went wrong and what he didn't like about it and what he thought, you know, could have been done better. Something. Because Rocky, see, it's like whoever owns the Rocky films thinks that Rocky was the only one that really made a difference, and that's not true, because the sequels made a shit ton of money and were in some ways better or equally as good as the original movie in a lot of people's minds. So I don't understand that. No features for the Rocky sequels. Just like no features for the Road Warrior. I think it's just common sense. Rambo 3. I'd even throw in all the Rambo movies, except for maybe First Blood, but it would be interesting. I would love to see 2-disc special editions of the Rambo movies. The first 3. The first one, First Blood, the Artisan DVD, had a good amount of features, and it's good, and it's well done and everything. But it'd be nice to see newer documentaries with more up-to-date interviews, with even more in depth about the making of First Blood. And then also then have Rambo First Blood Part 2. Have an in-depth making of documentary about that. Like, in-depth. I'm talking about in-depth, hour-long documentaries on all 3 Rambo films. Especially Rambo 3, because the DVD sucks. Artisan 2-disc, shitty features. It doesn't even talk about the making of the movie. Talks about some fucking bullshit about the real life war in Afghanistan with the Russians. I don't give a shit. I don't want a history lesson. I want to see the making of Rambo 3. Not a history lesson, some documentary I watch on the History Channel. I want to see the making of the movie. So yeah, Rambo 3. He deserves a better DVD. It's not that bad of a movie. It's a solid sequel. And better DVDs for the first 3 ones. Or Blu-rays. Features. In-depth documentaries. Not these little tiny ones that are like 25 minutes. I'm talking about in-depth. If you're going to go in-depth on stuff like, The Fly, and you go in-depth on Rocky, go in-depth on Rambo. It could just be like one long video. I don't care. Just go in-depth on the whole Rambo series. Just with multiple interviews with the special effects guys or the pyrotechnics guy or stunt coordinator. Sly talks about his workout regimen for Rambo 3. I don't really care. Just something more than just a little bit. I think Rambo deserves more than that. So, next one, Adventures in Babysitting. Another one of those anniversary editions that Touchstone released through Disney that has nothing. This movie, if you're a kid from the 80s, it's more than likely that you remember this movie and probably enjoyed it. Film that kickstarted Elizabeth Shue's career. It's very well known among, fans of the 80s. It's an entertaining movie. It's fun. It's considered a 80s classic. Nothing. Not even an interview with Elizabeth Shue. No interview with the little girl, who liked Thor so much. Interview with the Thor guide. Chris Columbus. Commentary of Chris Columbus. Something. Adventures in Babysitting didn't flop. It did a good amount of money for Touchstone when it came out. And it's got a good fan base. Another one of those, I don't know why there's nothing. Next one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, it doesn't have to be the third one. The second one, just put the VHS, documentary Behind the Shells on there. I'll be okay with that. The first one. What is up with this? Nothing. The first Turtles film in 1990 was the most successful independent movie of all time. It made $135 million in the United States. That's when ticket prices were cheaper. It did huge business for a new line. And when they finally release it, I get a stupid fucking little game and a trailer. Is there footage? Behind the scenes footage doesn't exist? It's not. It never was even there. Even the behind the scenes footage wasn't there. Interviews of the cast, with the voice cast. What is up with no interviews of the voice cast of the Turtles movies? Like, the voices aren't important. Who gives a shit about voice cast actors? that sucks because voice cast actors are really important for the character. Howard the Duck has a special edition and has an interview with the voice cast of Howard the Duck, who did the voice of Howard the Duck. Can't do it for Turtles, which made more money, wasn't a flop. I like Howard the Duck, but I still don't understand why Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first live-action movie, has no features. I guess there's a commentary in Germany with Steve Barron, but I heard it's boring, the sin, and there's like a deleted scene. But it's in Germany. If you're in the US, you're shit out of luck, because nothing. Even when they're released on Blu-ray and that fancy pizza box set, nothing. Just higher definition transfers, Dolby Digital sound or lossless sound, whatever the fuck, and you get a bunch of stickers and bandanas that only little kids could wear and cards and shit. I don't get what. It's not a feature. I'm going a little rant on that shit. I hate that shit. The fucking box sets and shit with just toys and fucking cards and little print-offs shit. Unless it's Dirty Harry. I didn't mind that because that had features. That box set had features, so it was worth all the little extra stuff. But don't have the extra stuff if you don't have anything other, anything more substantive. Like actual behind-the-scenes features or featurettes or interviews with the cast or commentary at least. Don't give me a box set with toys and shit and stickers. I'll just stick them on my ass. Because, I don't know where else I would put them. I don't have a scrapbook. But anyway, I don't understand it. Don't get it. In sense, Turtle movies have no features. Especially the first one. Box set, Blu-ray set, nothing. They put more time and effort into this box than they did with the DVDs. So, and the first movie has a huge fan base. A lot of people love it. So, I don't understand this nothingness for the first Turtles movie. It's just makes my mind blow. Just blow up. Just like Scanners. Just speaking of Scanners, there's another one. Scanners. I know Shout Factory's going to be releasing the second and third one, I think, in a 2 double features sort of thing. But the first one, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it's still a David Cronenberg movie, and it's got no features. It's just got a trailer. Unless there's some 2-disc overseas, which I wouldn't be surprised. I think it deserves a little bit more than that. Commentary by David Cronenberg, something. So, at the first Turtles movie, I don't understand it. I really don't. Can't wrap my brain around the reason why it has nothing. Next up, Air Force One. Big film. People love it. Although there's a lot of people who hate it now for some reason, but regardless of that, which I think is bullshit, but that's people's opinion, that's fine. People know about the film. The DVD came out. The Blu-ray came out recently. All it has is commentary of the director. No interviews with Harrison Ford. You're telling me Harrison Ford wouldn't be up to talking about Air Force One? Where he played the President of the United States? Where he was voted the best on-screen feature film president of all time by people. They did a poll and he was voted #1. He wouldn't like to talk about Gary Oldman. Wouldn't like to talk. There's no, footage from back in the day and a featurette on the making of the movie. Gotta find that hard to believe. A commentary's nice, but I think Air Force One deserves the 2-disc treatment, deserves more features than just a commentary. But that's just my personal opinion. Early Steven Seagal flicks. Above the Law, Marked for Death, Out for Justice, Under Siege, Hard to Kill. These films have all one thing in common. No features. Nothing. Not a single damn thing. I don't even think any of them have a commentary. No featurettes. Not even from back in the day. You get a trailer, and you're lucky to get it in widescreen. That's pathetic. I know Steven Seagal is a fat ass now, and he's working on his next movie called Out to Lunch, but, you know, he was a badass early in his career. He was like the new guy on the block, and people, it was like a huge phenomenon. People were like, oh, who the fuck is this Seagal guy? He's breaking people's arms and shit. This guy's awesome. But, no, we don't even get a documentary about the phenomenon, Seagal, not anything like that. No behind-the-scenes footage. Under Siege is his biggest film and one of the biggest hits of that year when it came out. No features. No features for Above the Law, Out for Justice. Nothing. I'm sorry. It's sad that Exit Wounds and... what the fuck is the other one called? I can't even remember it. It's Exit Wounds and some other movie that he starred in with a rapper, which I can't remember the title of it at the moment. Half Past Dead. There we go. Exit Wounds and Half Past Dead. They have features. But those are the only Seagal movies you're going to find that have features, because all the other ones had nothing. That's just make any sense. These movies did respectable in the box office, and a lot of action fans enjoy those films. So no features on any of them is just mind-boggling. Just what the fuck? Seriously. And this disrespect for, you know, 90s action heroes continues with Jean-Claude Van Damme. It starts with his first big movie in Bloodsport, which is nothing. I mean, that's nothing. Not even a commentary with the director. No interviews with Van Damme. Van Damme was talking about Bloodsport remake in the documentary or whatever reality show. I can't be in the Bloodsport remake because they don't want me in it. And he's willing to talk about the remake, but he won't talk about the movie. I guarantee Jean-Claude Van Damme would talk about Bloodsport. If he had the chance to talk about it, sit down, somebody, you know, want him to talk about it. I'd love to see him do a commentary on, you know, Bloodsport. You know, get the other cast and crew involved. You know, something. I don't care. Like, even a little bit is better than nothing for Bloodsport. It's a classic. It's a martial arts classic. It's arguably Van Damme's best film, or one of his best at least. Then you have Kickboxer. It's another one. Full screen. Like, I think the original DVD released by Lionsgate was in full screen for some reason. It wasn't even in widescreen. No features for Kickboxer. Even the Blu-ray has no features. Nothing for Kickboxer. You know, a commentary. Something. Nothing. Gets kicked in the face just like Bloodsport. Continuing with this just sad, you know, series of events with Van Damme, you have Time Cop. Time Cop. His most successful film. Big, huge box office smash. Critics loved it for once. Some Van Damme movie critics actually gave a shit about. And it's actually a comic book movie. It's based on a Dark Horse comic. So it's, I probably say it's one of the best comic book movies, right up there with The Rocketeer. You know, since it is actually based on a comic book movie. But nothing. In fact, when it was first released on DVD, it was in full screen. What? Full screen. Universal went out of their way to do a fucking special collector's edition of Street Fighter, which came out the same year as Time Cop. Didn't do nearly as well. And didn't have nearly as much acclaim. Didn't have nearly as much people liking it. And they choose Street Fighter for the collector's edition. And not Time Cop. They chose poorly. They chose poorly. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Time Cop. Nothing. It finally got released on widescreen recently as part of a 2-pack with Bloodsport. And both of them have no features, of course. But the feature is like, oh, here we go, Time Cop is finally in widescreen because Warner Brothers bought the rights and actually gave a shit about the film. Despicable. Just continues with like Hard Target and Lionheart. Nothing. Hard Target. Give me the uncut version in the United States. A commentary by John Woo. Maybe a commentary by John Woo and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Behind the scenes featurettes from back in the day. Something. interview Lance Henriksen and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Nancy Butler, she's not busy doing Witchblade right now, so I think she's doing that much. Lionheart would be cool too, to see a little something for that as well. So Van Damme movies, just like Seagal, pretty much blank and bare in terms of special features on DVD and Blu-ray. That's sad. I mean, really. It's pathetic. Like Seagal, only other Van Damme films I can think of features are JCVD, Street Fighter, and Universal Soldier. That I can't think of any of the other ones that, you know, have any features. And some of them are like no-brainers, like Bloodsport, Time Cop. Next, I'm going to talk about the missing in action films and Chuck Norris films in general. Chuck Norris is this big, you know, internet sort of phenomenon. He was this big internet phenomenon that's kind of died down a little bit. The Chuck Norris facts thing, the fad. But regardless of that, I think there's like one Chuck Norris movie that has features, and it's like, I think it's The Octagon, or it's A Force of One. I think it's A Force of One. Force of One as a featurette. But none of the other Chuck Norris movies. Like his classics, like Lone Wolf McQuade, like Silent Rage, Forced Vengeance, the missing in action movies. They were released on Blu-ray recently. Nothing. There's a documentary on the making of the second movie on YouTube. Why isn't there features for the missing in action films? Chuck doesn't want to talk about it? Well, tough titties, Chuck. Do it. Fans deserve it. So, I don't understand. Delta Force movies. Another one. There's like a making of Delta Force on YouTube. Why isn't that on the DVD? Total disrespect for Chuck Norris when it comes to his movies on DVD. Firewalker, if you want to buy it, you gotta fucking get a loan or some shit. You gotta pay an arm and a leg to buy that on DVD lately because it's super rare and expensive nowadays. So, even Code of Silence doesn't get anything. Invasion USA has nothing. I don't understand this lack of respect for Norris, Van Damme, and Seagal when it comes to DVDs. If you think about it, there's an entire lack of respect for majority of the 80s action heroes and 90s action heroes. Cynthia Rothrock, nothing for any of her movies. Jeff Speakman's got nothing for any of his movies. Gary Daniels, I don't think he has anything for his movies. You have Michael Dudikoff, no interviews with American Ninja. Shokasugi, nothing. Shokasugi, Revenge of the Ninja doesn't even have a good DVD. It's an MGM DVD, but I think that movie deserves some features because it's one of the most kick-ass ninja movies ever made. And Pray for Death needs to be on DVD in the first place, uncut. But, you know, whatever. But yeah, this is total disrespect. Think about Arnold. Arnold's got a handful of decent DVDs, but The Sixth Day is a 2-disc, of all things. But, you know, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Raw Deal, I think that deserves a little bit of extra something. And The Running Man has one of the shittiest DVDs ever. Good first DVD, good transfer by Artisan, shitty second disc with documentaries about fucking reality TV and shit. I don't give a fuck. Where is the behind the scenes interviews of the cast and crew of The Running Man? Give me a good DVD of The Running Man. Not some bullshit 3D transfer that I've been seeing advertised on Amazon with no features. DVD of The Running Man with a commentary with Arnold and company. It'd be cool. I think they did one on the Artisan DVD, but I'm not sure exactly. But it talked about the film. I actually talk about the movie, how it, you know, was adapted from the Stephen King novel, what they changed, what they didn't. Don't talk about some pop culture fucking reality TV bullshit and impact on society, I don't give a flying fuck. When it comes to Running Man, give me info on the making of the film. Because I thought that's what the 2-disc was supposed to do. Same issue with Rambo 3, same issue I have with the Running Man DVD. So like I was saying, yeah, Michael Dudikoff, nothing. Arnold, kind of a weak track record. Twins isn't even in widescreen on DVD and has no features. And Arnold talks about the film all the time. Don't understand why that is nothing. I don't get that. I think Junior is in widescreen, but Twins isn't. Don't understand that. This doesn't make any sense. Unless this is the Terminator or T2, it seems like or Commando, it seems like Arnold's films or Predator. Do another. I like this 2-disc of Predator is great, but now that Arnold has the free time to talk about Predator, do another edition of Predator and have interviews with Arnold about Predator, because that's the only thing that was missing on the DVD 2-disc DVD by 20th Century Fox was Arnold, because he couldn't be a part of it because he was governor at the time. Get him involved. Have him tell his side. You could just be Arnold talking about Predator for 30 minutes. I don't care. That would be nice. So, and Conan the Destroyer. I'd like to see hear Arnold's thoughts on that movie. His thoughts on the first film were great. I'd love to see his thoughts on the second one. A little bit more features on that. Because I actually like Conan the Destroyer now. And I would be interested to see like how they did the Dagoff effect at the end, the monster. I'm interested to see how they did the makeup effect at the end. Maybe Arnold could give his thoughts on what he thought, could have been done better, and so forth. So that would be interesting. At least I think so. And with Stallone, unless it's the Rocky movies, unless it's Rocky, kind of cheaped out. He's kind of, given the short end of the stick for features as well for his movies. Tango and Cash, nothing. I think that would be an interesting story to hear how that was dealt with all those production issues and directors getting fired left and right. I think it'd be an entertaining documentary. Interviews with Kurt Russell and Stallone, that'd be nice. But Cobra, there's making a featurette from back in the day, but I'd like to see Sly's thoughts on it now, because I remember him saying that that's one of the movies that he ultimately wished he could have done a little bit better, or we actually said it's a movie he would, if he could do a sequel to some of his other movies, that was one of them, along with Tango and Cash. So it'd be nice to see his thoughts on those films. Commentaries, Over the Top. It's a Canon film. I know there's got to be some Canon film material laying around somewhere in some Canon vault with some featurettes or promotional material from back in the day. Be nice to see a commentary. I don't know if Madame Golem is still alive, but Sly, do a commentary, Sly, for Over the Top. That'd be cool. Interview David Mendenhall, see how he's doing. Interview Bull Harley. Over the Top, I think it was a good enough movie. It deserved a little bit better DVD. So yeah, that's Sly, Arnold, Sly, Van Damme, Seagal, Norris. All of them really don't have really spectacular, maybe a few spectacular DVDs or Blu-rays for their big name movies, but for some of their lesser name movies, or in some cases with Van Damme, Seagal, and Norris, none of them have anything. And that's just lame. So anyway, I think I'll end this first part on that note. I got a shit ton of other DVDs to talk about that I have issues with that I think should be a lot better than they are, but that'll be in another installment. But anyway, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. See ya.